Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Frankie Kingtnn, known as a wise entrepreneur. And today I have a really dear friend and a guest speaker with me today on my YouTube channel called Darren J Brookes. Hi, Darren. How are you doing, my dear friend? How are you?
I'm very good, Frankie. How are you, man? It's very good to see you.
It's great to see you as well, Darren. Yeah, and thanks for coming on a day again. I know it's our second video, so
Great.
I'm really looking forward to it. I know we've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot for the audience to gather and get some information from us. So we'll crack on. So Darren, how are you doing? What have you been up to recently, my dear friend?
Um, really good, Frankie. Yeah, it's good to see you, man. It's good to catch up again, and appreciate you having me on as always. I'm writing book number 3, so I'm working on that, and this one specifically just aimed at men. So it won't be coming out till International Men's Day next year. So I've got quite a bit of time, which is November. So I've got quite a bit of time work on it. Other than that, one of the things that I bang on about a lot through all my books, really, Frankie, is how important it is surrounding yourself with the right people. I think especially with some of the madness that's going on in the world at the moment, having that strong group of people around you is massively important. So I've started a subscription men's only group called Seat at the Table, which is a group of winners that want to go after life and achieve everything that they want. They'll be holding each other accountable, but it'll also be a team of people around them that if somebody wants to go for mayor, if somebody wants to buy a property abroad, they've got a group of people that in some way, shape or form can help them. I think the whole thing of like the lone wolf isn't true. Any lone animal in the wild, as anyone knows, dies. So having a strong pack of people around you that want what's best for you and help you in any way, I think is really powerful, man.
That's great. And Darren, yeah, you're talking about books because I know you're an author. Mention the books, what books you've actually written, because I mean I've done one book as well, and I'm looking at doing another. But mention to the audience what books you've written. Tell us about them.
So the first one, Frankie, that's Dreams to Goals, and that's about this dream, sorry, that can appear quite overwhelming. That when you start actually breaking it down into manageable goals, it doesn't become that overwhelming at all. As we both know, it can feel so big and it can scare people off and stop them from going after what they want. But if you break it down into manageable goals, it becomes a lot more achievable and you start seeing progress quite quickly. And I suppose if Dreams to Goals was about discovering the potential within you, 23 Rules of Life is about being mindful of the stuff around you that can take your power away from you. So, it's called 23 Rules of Life that most people don't want to hear because some of the things people don't want to hear that are in there. So, mainstream media, government, one of the big focuses, I think, is people believe that whoever's in power will have an impact on the life. And I don't believe that it does at all. I believe that you've got to go after what you want in life, regardless of who's in power. They're all cut from the same cloth. I think they all speak the same language. They've all studied in similar schools. They're all on the boards of the same organizations. Doesn't matter whether it's Labour, Conservative, Republican, Democrat. They're the same, Frankie, in my opinion. And I think you've got to go after those goals unapologetically, regardless of who's in power, because they aren't going to help you, and sadly, they don't care about you.
Very well said there, Darren. I like exactly what you said there. I honestly see politicians and governments as a kind of distraction. I think they're put there to create negativity, to create bad. They say so much, don't they, Darren? And they never deliver, and they never do what they say they're going to do. So
no, in any
you're genuine, aren't you? Somebody you want to trust, you want to come across as genuine, and there's too many. Of
course, the leaders, aren't they?
Well,
I think they're in a position, Frankie, where they could help so many people. Yet, exactly as you just said, they lie to get in, and then when they come in, they don't fulfill the promises that they made in the first place. If that was any other business, you would stop shopping at that place or stop using their services because they've just lied and they haven't provided what they said they'd provide in the first place. But the madness is people still keep voting them in.
But the thing is as well, Darren, they look down on people like us entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I think they're scared of entrepreneurs, aren't they, Frankie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
because it
think
helps
there's a fear there because
the one with the money. And entrepreneurs, you may see them as effective, think, well, they're people who want to have money or want to be successful. And I think the reason why they don't like us is because we're trying to make a difference in society. We're trying to help
100%.
people get better, help people grow, help people develop. Where them, they're just there just to spread promises and lies, and that doesn't help anybody. And then it leads to a society where nobody trusts each other. It leads to poverty, degradation. Then people start to take the law into their own hands, start to become vigilantes, think that you don't care about us. And people get desperate, don't they, Darren? So they start to hang on to these ideologies which really don't help them. And it makes them go even further down, into suffering and despair. So we've really got to be like me and you, Darren, people who really care about people, who want to help people, who want to make a difference in the world and give people a second chance. It's really important that, especially the youth, because I'm always passionate about working with youth, that they've got options and choices where they can see people like me and Darren and think, oh, well, these guys are making a bit of a difference. Or these guys really care about what it is that I want to do. Because the youth, people need options. You need a lot of options. With me and Darren and around and other people around who really do care, who really want to make a difference, who really want to give our youth a chance to succeed. Because the more entrepreneurs I say, Darren, and the more thought leaders we have in society, the world's going to be a better place. It's going to be flourishing, it's going to be prospering, and people are going to be a lot more happier because they've got what they've worked for. So, Darren.
Without a doubt, isn't it? Without a doubt, Frank. And I think, the people, as yourself, Frankie, the people that I follow, are people that are giving me tools that can help me in some way, shape, or form. The amount of energy that I see invested into this Liz Truss and what's going on at the moment, if you invest that same energy into listening and watching and learning from people that are doing what you want to do, you're going to catapult yourself forward in life. Doesn't matter who's in it. It doesn't matter if Boris is in it. It doesn't matter if Liz Truss is. It doesn't matter who it is. Focus on the people that you can learn from, the people that are giving you tools to move you further forward in life.
Very, very important, Darren. And he said to move you further forward in life. I think what Darren said is really important as well, to surround yourself around the right people. And the thing what's really important as well is really work on yourself. Really be the best Frankie or the best Darren J Brookes that I can possibly be. I keep working on myself, developing myself, and keep going deeper and deeper within my own life, within my own self. Because really, that's where your true happiness and your success is, within your own life. So keep going deeper and keep exploring and keep looking for that diamond-like brilliance which is actually in you. And keep finding that niche, as I say, or that quality profession or subject what you're really good at, or the skills or the task what you're really good at. That's really important. So, Darren, what are you doing now? Because you're doing some great things. Obviously, we're going to be meeting in the next couple of weeks. We're going to a great event. What are you doing now, right now, at this present? What are you doing to help people and to make people grow like you've talked about? Because I know you've got some great books. Tell us more about that, what you're actually doing right now, and how we're going to work together.
Yeah, so the first thing, Frankie, what I'm doing, which I've been doing a while now, this was built up at the beginning of COVID, the beginning of lockdown, is a single dads group, and it's run in partnership with Alice Charity, and I've been a single dad for a while. I had Ellie as well for a short term on my own, and at that time I was going through quite a tough time, and I didn't have, Frankie, anybody who I could particularly turn to and speak to. Not that I didn't have family around me, but I didn't have somebody that could understand where I was at in my life. So they could offer, support as a family member does, but they couldn't offer the emotional support because they didn't understand what it was that I was going through. I had friends that had come around with a pizza and a few drinks and stuff, but they didn't understand what it was like to be in that situation. And it was quite, felt quite desperate at the time. This is going back a good few years ago. So I partnered up with Alice Charity, and it's a group of single dads. I ring them every week. Well, I rang them every week all through COVID for like support over the phone, which for some of them was a lifeline, Frankie, because they weren't having any contact with anybody. As you know, with everything that was going on with COVID, that's now turned into a group where we meet up and that. So that's really fulfilling. You know, these guys, I think single dads really do get overlooked. There's mums and toddlers, there's mums and babies, there's mums groups, there's mums in business, there's all sorts of these things for mums, and there's not a great deal for dads. You know, which this was what was identified when they look. You've only got to go on Google and, you know, type in dads groups, and there's very few things. There's a couple of things that go in London or in the big city, but there was nothing in Stoke-on-Trent area. So that's really powerful, and that's really building up nicely. Aside from that, you know, probably from all the work that I'm doing with men, predominantly men, you know, I've got a couple of female clients as well on the one-to-one basis, but I'm pulling away from that and moving into seat at the table, which will be again working with men. There's kind of like a taboo around men's groups now, as if like it's something sinister or something. Yeah, you know, there's loads of women's groups, there's loads of women's in business, and but there's nothing for men, and that's what I'm building. I think I want a place where this isn't a mental health group. You know, it's a winners subscription group. The guys will pay each month, but they'll be surrounded by powerful people that can help them in any way, shape, or form. And I think that will be not just in business. It's not a business networking group. It'll be business. It'll be personal life, financially, and I think importantly, the guys can speak openly there about the partners or the children, about being a dad, about being a husband, and without sort of without the female perspective, really. Just they can speak openly without worrying that, oh, I'm going to upset somebody by speaking openly. I think some men, you know, not all, a lot of their problems, they might be doing really well in business, but a lot of the problems stem from the relationship. So it's important that they can speak in there about anything and everything. That's the goal of this. You know, the ethos of it is to connect with other winners, to contribute to the development of yourself and your brothers, and to go away and conquer your goals. So I'm super excited about this. I can't wait to get it off the ground. It's been a thought in the mind for a while that, you know, as you know, Frankie, takes time to bring that dream to life, and it's finally coming to life this year. This was going to be a 5-year goal, but because of what's going on in the world, I've sped this up and brought it forward.
That's absolutely fantastic, Darren. You touched on some really good points there, and I want to just clarify what Darren just said there about men. What is it about men? I've known myself, and so I'm talking through my experience as well, as a man, that we find it very hard to open up and to talk. And sometimes, like Darren says, we need that group, or we need an organisation where we can sit down and just be really open-hearted. Couple of rules, what we can talk about at the meeting, where we have this total respect and dignity for everybody. And then we say to men, look, if you've got something you want to say, open up and say it without being feared of criticised or judged, or people looking down at me like, oh, I'm not a man anymore because I've got all these problems. And I think that's what it is, Dan. And I just think society, and what I've seen as I'm getting older, and you'll probably see this yourself, is that we are taught all the wrong values. And I think it's important that as we're getting older, that the values that we're taught, we make sure that we don't teach it to our children or our youth or to the next generation, because it's really important. And this values what we taught, again, from the kind of the system that we're living in, with the schooling system and the policies and the governments, you know, are not helping men at all. And it's just keeping us trapped and blocked in this system of you leave school, you get an education, and you go to work. But the times have changed now, Darren, and we're changing the times as entrepreneurs. And we know now that especially the youth and the young people, they've got everything they need to succeed now at a young age and to be successful entrepreneurs or thought leaders or whatever they want to be, or CEOs or managers. They have everything that they need to be successful. If they want all the money they want, they can have all the money they want.
100%.
It depends on how they work, and how they develop themselves, and how they work on themselves. And like you said, it's really important that we're around the right people, because when we're around the right people, and this is a men thing as well, men don't like asking for help because we're brought up to be so macho, and it's kind of BS rubbish that we can't cry and we can't do this, and we're soft if we cry, and you know, we've got to be macho and tough, and you know, all this kind of rubbish what we're seeing. So Darren's touched on a lot of great points here about really being together around the right people in the right atmosphere in the right place to open up and talk. Because when you're opening up and you're talking about how you feel, you're letting go of all that probably built up probably frustration what's in your life, and that's what men do. You build stuff up, and then when the pressure cooker starts boiling, it just goes boom because they built it up so much, and then they get angry or they take it out on somebody else when they don't mean to. So, Darren, are you gonna elaborate on that? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think not just that, Frankie. I think the pendulum swung a little bit the other way as well. That as you've said with the young people, that they can get what money they want now. They can do what business they want, and I think that's become frowned upon. That like going after what you want in life and wanting more for yourself has become like a little bit taboo. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong to want to bring more money in. The more money you've got coming in, the more people you can help around you, the more people you can help in your family. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit competitive and wanting to go after what you want. What I think what they're teaching a little bit in school now is they're trying to take this competitiveness out of people. That there's a guy I trained with at the gym the other day. His son was in a five-a-side football competition. There was five people in each team. There was two reserves in each team. So there was 14 players. There was 25 trophies Frankie handed out to 14 players. And it's taken away that thing that there's when I was at school, as yourself, Frankie, there was the first, second, and third. If you didn't get that first, second, or third, that didn't matter. You tried work towards it again next time to make sure that you would get a place. Now you get 17th place, you get a trophy anyway. And in the real world, these young men and that are learning these things, they're just going to get eaten alive when they go into business, because there is competition in business. Of course, there's helping people and having the right people around you is paramount to going forward. But there's still a competitive edge. If you're selling t-shirts, you've got a t-shirt brand, and a guy down the road's got a t-shirt brand. Of course, you can work in conjunction with each other. But at the same time, if you're selling the exact same product like Nike or Adidas, you're going to have some competition on your hands, and you've got to learn to be the best, to be the best version of yourself, as you spoke about earlier. And I think we've always got to strive for that in every area of our life, to be the best financially, to be the best spiritually, to be the best mentally, emotionally, and to be the best in business. And that's getting taken away somewhere along the line, as if this is some sinister thing to be competitive and to be the best version of yourself. I love how David Goggins describes it, Frankie, that he said he's training not to get another medal, not to do this, that, and the other. He's training for when his mum passes away. He's training for when he's got heartache in his life. The reason he's training to be the best version of himself is so that he's resilient enough that when something happens in his life, he can face that head on and he can overcome it. And I love that. I think that's a really powerful way of looking at becoming the best version of yourself, really. That this isn't to be better than anybody else. This is to face the tough things that might happen in life. Because from reading your book, Frankie, which was really real heartbreaking in parts, these things happen, these tough things happen to us, and it's important that by becoming the best version of yourself, we can face these things head on, and they don't swallow us up and they don't suck us under.
Exactly, Darren. And it's that saying into it, or people say a quote, is that saying into it, is it victim or victory?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Because we cannot escape problems.
No.
Problems are part of life, like life and death is. We can't escape the things what are obvious in life. These days are going to come to us at some point, so we've got to be prepared for them.
Yeah.
And we want to go out of this world happy, knowing that what we've done and what we've achieved, we can look back and say, I've left that for my grandchildren or for
100%.
my...
Building a legacy, isn't it,
Yeah,
Frankie?
building a legacy. They can finish off my work. That's what you want to be saying, And Darren touched on a lot of points there about it's like arming yourself into it. It's like putting on that armor, isn't it, Darren?
Exactly.
armor to right, I'm going to fight the next battle because I've got the armor around me to deal with anything what life throws at me. That's really important.
Yeah.
And you know yourself when you're becoming successful, Darren, you start attracting enemies. Or
you attract haters, don't you? You do attract.
And the people around you don't like you because they think, what do you think you are? You know, I've read it, but you're not so perfect. You know, so you've got.
I think it shines a light, and when you're doing what you want, you know, you're writing your book or you're going after your dreams. It shines a light, sadly, on what people aren't doing. I love how Conor McGregor said it. This will either inspire people or this will piss people off, and it's true. You can, by going after what you want, if people aren't doing what they know that they want to do, that can shine a light on that, and it can irritate their soul, I suppose. And you know, that can be hard for people to swallow.
Exactly, Danny. You know, it's like you're staying up there. It's like It's like, you know, Danny, when you're growing up, you go to school, you leave school, and you're surrounded by so-called a lot of friends. Then you grow up, and you start to realise, are these people really my friends?
100%. 100%.
Now I'm changing my life. I'm starting to see the friends who really want to support me now. And you start to think, oh, right, so that's what life's about then. So, you know, you've got to really, I would say, Dan, as well, you've got to take the rough with the smooth, the yin and the yang, the negative and the positive. To have a balance that you know that where you can grow, where you can be upright. It's like finding that middle way in your life, a real middle way in your life to say, I've done this, that's bad. I've done that, okay, that's better. But this is the middle way. And, you know, I'm going to be grounded and armored to the best as I can be. So when I'm out there in battle, I can face anything from on, knowing that I'm going to, you know, win this war.
And that's what it is. You know, it's in battle, isn't it? You know, that's another thing that's kind of really frowned upon now. At the end of the day, you know, men are meant to go into battle. That's what we've done. We've walked across the earth conquering the next towns on, and we've realized that, you know, that's not battle. Now, battle is going in and conquering the goals. That's what it's about. We're still in battle. We're in battle against going after what we want in life and protecting the people around us and having those right people around us. The ethos and the sort of structure of things of our human makeup, it hasn't changed. It's just there's a different way of doing it. And you know, some of the feminists jump on that and turn it round as if like, oh, you know, men are terrible because they speak this way about going into battle and things. But that's who we are. And if you find any man that's been dampened out of him and taken away from him, he's not in a good place. He's not in a good place. That you know, a man needs purpose. He needs to be going after what he wants in life each day. Women also, you know, a lot of women need that, but it's in a different way. And if you find any man that loses his purpose, you will find that he loses his way.
That's really important as well, Dan, what you said. It's about sometimes as well, Dan, it's like having the conviction to say, maybe I've got a mission statement, maybe I've got a vow. Am I courageous enough to have a statement on a mission statement which I want to share with the world? And then you think, right, I've made this mission statement. It's having that conviction to say, right, it doesn't matter what happens. I've already told the world my mission statement. Somebody might help me on my mission statement or help me to come along with me because they're passionate about what it is that I want to do. So you never know who's watching you. One thing you know, don't you, Daddy, when you're becoming successful and you're going on your own journey, you start to get people watching you very, very closely. Every move and every step what you take. Some people are looking to think, oh, Darren's doing great. And other people are looking to say, right, let's see when he falls. Let's attack him when he has a stumble, or let's attack him when things are going wrong, when he fails or he makes a mistake. Let's go into. You've got to be prepared to say, well, you know, I'm going to keep above you. I'm going to rise above it and go to the next level and learn from it. And that's what it's about.
You know,
always learning, always, Darren. Always learning and growing.
Always, Frankie. Always learn, like you say, always learning and always growing and always moving forward. You know, my girlfriend, she's so supportive in what I do, but she knows, you know, what I've said in previous relationships in the past is I've said, as soon as this project's finished, I'll slow down. And you know, it's been lies. I've been giving people the wrong sense that this is who I am. I'm quick paced. I'm always moving forward and thinking of different things. And I made that clear to Holly. Luke, this is, and she said, listen, this is what I'm attracted to you. This is the reason I'm attracted to you, because you're like this. So it's like you can't dampen yourself down for anybody around you. You've still got to. This is where I want to go, and I'm getting there regardless of who's around me. But I will make sure that I've got as many people around me as possible to help me, and I'll help them on the way to where they're going. But going after it unapologetically, that like, you know, no, I'm not going to slow down. This is who I am. This is what I want to achieve, and I'm going to do it whether I get. I love how Steve Harvey puts it when he says you've got to jump. He says, but the thing is, your parachute isn't going to open straight away. You're going to hit the rocks. You're going to get scratched and burnt and all sorts. But eventually, your parachute is going to open, and you've got to be prepared to go through those, through the getting hit by the rocks and stuff along the way, and not stopping, I think.
I love that, Dan, about the parachute, and I'm going to touch on something as well about the parachute, which I think is really important. They say that your mind should be open like a parachute.
I like that.
The more open it is, the more you can let into it.
100%.
That you can be. So have a mind as open as a parachute, because if it's not, that parachute might save you. You know, if it's not
Fantastic.
open, it can save you with it. So, you know, I think it's really important, like what Darren touched on there. And Darren touched on, well, having a girlfriend. And I feel as well, Darren, it's great what you're doing. The importance of having, you say, the right people around you. Yeah. What is the importance of having the right family and people around you? It's important as well, I would say, Darren, into it, that people are supporting you in what it is that you do. They're standing in your corner. Even though you're an entrepreneur, you're taking calculated risks, which sometimes can be risky. They're standing in your corner. They believe in what it is that you actually do. Just touch on that, Darren, why that's important.
Frankie, I think the importance of that, you just can't underestimate. So I think it's everything. You know, Andy Frisella, one of the people I follow, he says the answer to everything that's going on is personal excellence, which I agree with, to become that best version of yourself. But more important than that, I think, is being surrounded by the right people. If you've got the wrong partner in your life, a partner in your life can make your life or absolutely ruin it completely. And I, you know, I've had that. I've had somebody that was quite narcissistic and was sort of pulling everything down, and those wrong people around you can literally ruin your life. You know, how many people do you see that literally crumble when they come out of a relationship, or slide into poor mental health, or they haven't got the right friends around them who are honest with them and straight down the line. So they go off course, and sadly some people don't get back on course either. They go off course and they really plummet, where, you know, this whole thing of men that, you know, you need to be able to talk, blah blah blah. I think of course, you know, you've got to be able to talk, but you shouldn't have people around you that at the same time as letting you talk, you shouldn't have the people around you that are making you talk when you're not ready to either. So it's all about knowing the people around you through and through. Like, something that I will say to one of my friends, if he's struggling, is not the same thing that I would say to one of the dads who I work with, who are in a vulnerable position. I can say a different thing to my friend. I can, you know, get your shit together and be grateful for what you've got. That's become something you shouldn't say that, where I've had my friends and my brothers who said that to me on numerous occasions, and it's flipped me out of the bad place that I was in. I think it's knowing your audience, and that's knowing the men around you or the partners around you, of what works for them and what doesn't work. Because, you know, as we know, Frankie, it's not a one shoe fits all, is it? Exactly. Some people need a coach, some people need a therapist, some people need the gym, some people need exercise. Everybody needs different things that help them to be the best version of themselves. And I think the importance of that is knowing your circle, your tribe, man. I think that's
Exactly.
really important.
I love that, Darren, your tribe, really important, because your tribe and the people around you are the people who are going to be the closest to you, the people
Definitely.
you trust, who you can talk to, who've got your back no matter what. No matter what's going on in your life, you know they've got your back and they'll stand by you 24/7, you know, no matter what's going on in your life. And they're the people you need. And
They're
sometimes
rowing the boat, not drilling holes in it.
Mm.
They're rowing the boat, not drilling holes in it.
Exactly, exactly. You've had enough of that, haven't we, Darren? We've seen that side now. We want to be enlightened, and and go through our own experiences, of life, which is the best way to go, and the best.
And as you said earlier, Frankie, we're learning all the time, aren't we? So you want those people around you that you're learning from as well, and they are learning from you, because as a solo person, especially in business, you can't do everything or keep track of everything or read every book or watch everything. So having those people around you that are going to say, oh, have you read this, or have you seen this, or have you watched this, or have you heard that crypto has hit this, or have you heard about this investment over here? I think that's paramount, that you can't keep an eye on everything and learn everything. So having those people around you that can point these things out to you, that make your life, that enhance your life in some way, make your life better.
Yeah, and people looking out for you, looking out for your well-being, really important. So, Darren, thank you so much, mate, for having you on my YouTube channel. Darren, you've talked about your books. You want to leave any information about what you're doing, what you want to tell people, the audience, and what you want to, share with them?
Add me on social media, guys. I love helping people. Reach out if you need any advice on anything. I'll post the book links underneath the video, Frankie, if that's good with you.
That's fantastic, pal. Yeah, you can do that. I will do
and
that for you.
I'll share for the people, I'll share the video on my page for the people. Guys, get Frankie's book. I'll also, post his link when I put it on my link. It's a true sort of heartwarming and heartbreaking story, Frankie. It was
thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
It touched all the emotions, man, which is what it's about.
Exactly, and it's real, isn't it, Darren? It's your life story. And some parts I'm thinking, I've got to really reveal a lot of deep stuff here, which, brought up a lot of emotion for me, but it's very therapeutic. I found it very therapeutic, Darren. And I think that everybody's got a book in them. So like Darren says, it's really important that everybody writes their book or writes a memoir of their life. I feel it's really important. And yeah, it may open some doors for you, and it may clear something up in your life, which, was painful for you at that time. But you can rectify that you've changed and you've transformed. To see your life moving on is really important as well in this book. So
sometimes you're writing, aren't you, Frankie? And sometimes you think, well, where's that come from? I didn't even think about putting that in here, or forgotten about that, and it comes up as you're writing, which is amazing. And like you said, so therapeutic.
Yeah, and Darren, he's got some amazing books as well. Dreams into Gold, that was amazing. 23 Wheels of Life. That's on order, so I'm really looking forward to reading that when it comes. That's going to be another great book. Darren's a great guy. He's an author. He's an entrepreneur to me, a thought leader, a great guy who really cares about a lot of people and the world that he's living in, just like me as well. So my YouTube channel, Empowering Youth Development. As a life coach, I do life coaching. So I'm always looking for that person to coach and develop through mentoring and coaching. And Darren knows the importance about public speaking and having a voice for everybody to hear. And everybody wants to hear your story. Everybody wants to hear your story, which I know can be really inspiring for everybody. So Darren is a great guy. I know he's got a lot to offer. I'm going to meet Darren in the next week or so. We're going to a great event around men as well. So that's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to working with Darren as well in the future. So Darren, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it so much. Take care, my dear friend, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
You too, my friend. Amazing stuff.
For coming. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave us some comments if you like this video. And my warmest wishes to you. Thank you all now. Cheers, Darren. Thank you, my dear friend.
Take care, Frankie. You're welcome, my friend.